was really the truth. I mean, I can say I'm eating a portmanteau salad with chicken, and I know the word wasn't portmanteau, but it's the closest approximation of what I remember the word was. Portmontres, something like that. I mean, I was eating several small items, objects. I wasn't eating like one thing. I was eating, they look kind of like little car tires. They taste probably better though. I have never had Cheerios. I don't even think you can get Cheerios here. It's really kind of silly how you can get like seriously, I have another dragon. I'm getting too many dragons here, I would say. I never had onion rings either. And pasta I don't really like. And it's not donuts either. I mean, I thought my description was so telling that you would guess it right away, but oh well. I must have overestimated your guessing abilities. No, I think the plural of toy. I mean, toy already is the plural, isn't it? It comes from towers, which is a mathematical term actually, or should I say a mathematician term. I mean, I didn't say they looked exactly like car tires. You still have to add a little bit of imagination, but I mean, do I have to say they look like filled car tires? Does that do it for? Oh my god, I got a power source. Some enemy here gives you power sources. I should maybe like stay some time here and kill them consistently. I mean, they are not hollow in the middle, they are like filled with a car tire like substance. I mean, I find my description could hardly be more telling than that. Like, I could draw you a picture and it couldn't be clearer than that. Also, don't you know what I normally eat? Like, how many more clues do I need to give you? Also, for some reason, Kate Sif is really getting quite city, because he has learned, out of all the limit breaks he can learn, which is 4, he's like 50% sit, limit break wise. You know, there is actually quite, I don't even know where it's coming from, maybe because I once made a video about Skittles, a misconception that I like Skittles, whereas in reality, I don't know if I should say this, but in reality, the sad, devastating, depressing truth is, I do not actually like Skittles, you know? Not very much, at least. Oh hey Luke, how are you? So I wonder if there's any point in trying to duplicate these, the spirit lance here. I think not, so I should maybe continue. Oh no, it's definitely not Prinzenrolle, because no offense, but Prinzenrolle sucks majorly. Once again, no offense. But it's basically that, just smaller and like fancier and like tastier. Maybe that's what Japan does to you. When you go there, you have to sign a contract. It says that you're only allowed to leave if you're cultured, and if you do not become cultured, you have to stay indefinitely until you are cultured, and only then are you allowed to leave again. Oh my god, another power source. That is quite neat, actually. You know, I read in the news that North Korea says they have their own corona epidemic under control, which I find funny because, I mean, not to be rude or anything, but like how many people even travel to North Korea to have possibly spread coronavirus there? Like, I don't really know if like they are being ironic with saying that they have corona under control, because like who the fuck even goes there? Like, I'm not sure if they even had a case to begin with. I mean, I'm sure they don't test for it, but I mean, I know that some people from China travel to North Korea, but I don't think it's very many, just because of how like, I don't see what you would do in North Korea. What kind of dummy do you have to be to think that? Well, are you saying there's anything wrong with licking somebody's crotch? I mean, I don't see what you're trying to say. I mean, I'm sure there are people who are into licking all kinds of unwashed body parts. But then again, didn't you already tell me that you had a severe disgust for feet? Which might explain why you have a hard time imagining such a thing. Also, I have a feeling that this most exciting guess what kind of eating game has died down due to a lack of success from participating players. I do not eat cheese. At least I don't. What the fuck is that? That's a spooky camera angle. I thought I was just fighting a sword. As I was saying, as I was trying to say, I do not eat tasty cheese. I only eat cheese that doesn't taste good. Which probably disqualifies cheddar from being eaten by me. Well, I can taste cheese that doesn't taste good. Does that help? You know, I don't even know what name it goes by, but there's a German kind of cheese that is basically just protein, and I kind of like to eat that cheese every once in a while. People tell me it's disgusting. It kind of smells like that. But I seem to eat that every now and then. I like cottage cheese, but then again, cottage cheese probably also doesn't taste good, so that makes sense. Yeah, I said it's like a car tire that is filled. Or maybe maybe just think like 3 car tires stacked on top of each other that are each filled. I mean, I really do not know how I can be more specific than that. I don't know what that is. Never heard of that. Am I supposed to answer questions? I will not answer questions. I will only say if it's the right or wrong thing. Wow, this is another orgy right here. No, it's not donuts. It's not Oreos either. It is not any kind of pizza. That is not true, Fine Lines. The mystical treat I am talking about has been mentioned before, even in this chat. Also, I cannot, well, somehow I messed up this entire sequence because I went to snow first without having touched the hot spring, and now I cannot actually get Alexander. Well, it is soft, but also very crumbly. But it's not an Oreo. I mean, it also is not actual car tires. Okay, so how about I give you like one more direction. It's like 3 car tires filled, and they are all in the same color, and they come in different colors. And someone might have guessed it now. But you know, wouldn't it be fun? Because when I make a highlight of that video, when I have like a Twitch, you know, when people rewatch the video, when I maybe put it on YouTube, and because there's no chat layout you can see, how about I just do not actually mention what it is, and so now that you're watching the video without chat, you can never tell what I was eating if you haven't already guessed it. Isn't that just downright evil? Yeah, I'm gonna be this evil emperor and not tell you what I was eating, unless you can read chat right now. But somebody in chat mentioned it, actually 2 people, so I guess with all the information now you should already have realized what it was. So I want to get Alexander first. What colors were my blank? They were, I mean, variously colored. Personally, I prefer the green ones that come in usually the flavor of pistachio. And some other ones. Pistachio best nut. You know, I actually have personally a very distinct hierarchy from my nut preferences. I feel like that is something everyone should have. I mean, if you're not very clear about which nuts you prefer, I feel that you haven't given it enough thought yet. I mean, I am very peculiar with which nuts taste good and which do not so much. How can you know them from Pokemon? People in Pokemon eat them. Wow, that's interesting. You like all nuts? But do you like all nuts the same? Because I find that hard to believe. I mean, I think the nut I like the least is actually walnuts. Walnuts are just, I don't know, they taste like books. I mean, when I open like a bag of walnuts, they smell like books, and in my mind they also kind of taste like them. I think my favorite nuts are probably pistachios. Maybe my own hierarchy isn't that fixed. I think I really like pistachios, and then I'll also like maybe like almost as like pistachios number 1, and then the next spot is occupied by a couple of nuts that I cannot quite make a distinction between in terms of how much I like them. You know, I think there's even people who have not tried all of these nuts before. I also really like also, where am I even going? I think I forgot how to get Alexander materia because of too much food talk. Anyway, I think the second spot would be occupied by almonds, cashews, and macadamia nuts. I also really like Brazil nuts. They have such a nice plasticky taste, almost like rubber, which I think doesn't taste good, but in Brazil nuts it seems kind of appealing. Oh my god, this is like interesting. I have tried pine nuts and I didn't like them that much. I also do not like hazelnuts very much. And I think that's all the nuts there are, right? Did I forget anything? Any nut I have not talked about yet? Oh, I mentioned walnuts very early on. Oh, peanuts I forgot. Peanuts are quite high. Peanuts are fine. Walnuts are I think the nuts I like the least. Cashews I said were just below pistachios, in like the same class as almonds and macadamia nuts. I mean, from what I understand, cashews you cannot eat raw because apparently they're poisonous. They have to be like roasted or they have to be like processed in some way in order for you to be able to eat them without dying. Also, how do I do this? I forgot how this game works. This is terrible. Let me check some things. Is there a map somewhere of this? Because this old person doesn't know how this game works anymore. Where am I again? I am here. Which screen is this? 17. 13, 14. Okay. 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 I forgot pretty much everything. Yeah, you get it. Do I like Nutella? I don't know. Is Nutella just hazelnuts? I mean, Nutella is a hazelnut spread, right? I don't like Nutella because I don't like hazelnuts. I don't like spread. It's like everything I don't like in a combination. Oh, I forgot pecan nuts. You know, even though pecan nuts look very much like walnuts, I actually quite like pecan nuts because they are different from walnuts. My timer stopped. Actually, it's just invisible. Chestnuts. I mean, even though chestnuts are called chestnuts, are they like botanically or culinarily regarded as nuts? I'm not so sure. I mentioned macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are like my number 2 spot. Just like almonds and cashews, below pistachios. Oh really? So they are considered nuts? You know, personally I would not regard chestnuts as nuts because nutritionally, if you compare them to other nuts, they are quite different. They are not as calorie dense as other nuts. Even though I like chestnuts, I don't think of them as nuts. I don't know what ground nuts are. Also, did I go to, like, how does this game even work? Like, everything in my mind about how any in this worked is seemingly completely erased, and now I'm just a hopeless wanderer of the ice field. I mean, I even looked at a map, and I somehow still managed to not be able to do this. Boiled peanuts. Where would one eat boiled peanuts? Interesting. I think I never heard of such a thing as boiled peanuts. The earthy taste of peanuts? You think peanuts taste like earth? Or soil? Hmm. I am not so sure what kind of peanuts you have been eating. You know, then again, I think that, as I said, Brazil nuts taste like plastic or rubber, and I kind of like that flavor in them, but only in Brazil nuts. I don't like the taste of rubber or plastic in general. Well, I think I never tried truffles as in the mushroom. Coconuts? I mean, I believe that coconut is regarded as a fruit and not as a nut. Which opens another completely different topic for discussion, what someone's hierarchy of fruit likings is. Yeah, I can assure you, given rubber and plastic a fair try, outside of Brazil nuts, and in all other instances in which I have come to taste rubber and plastic, I did not like the flavor. Maybe I should try to actually level up the ore materia. I also don't like the flavor of paper. Even though I have not eaten actual books yet. But there is a German thing. Well, I'm not sure if it's German, but there is a candy you can buy in Germany. The name of which literally translates into English as edible paper, which is not paper, but it's edible. And personally, I think it tastes kind of good. I think it's some kind of starchy, I don't know what it's made of, but it's not too bad. It's some kind of wafer, I think. Yeah, maybe like rice paper, I think that's comparable. Seaweed wraps. So I realized I was actually running in the wrong direction. That's the issue I had. I think the issue with seaweed though is that apparently because it's very rich in iodine, you're not supposed to eat too much of it, because otherwise you will have issues with with your thyroid gland. No, the thermite is in your throat. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you are exposed to levels of radiation, then iodine might help, but because most people are not, if you can ingest too much of it, it can also have issues. Well, that's probably because it hasn't been up in a long time. Hey, the million. So am I going in the wrong or right direction? I think I'm forgetting again. Let's maybe just double check. Okay. This seems to be right for once. But who could really say for sure? Someone is working on one right now. I was told, at least. The person who made this randomizer is apparently also working on an FFVIII randomizer. Well, maybe that's why he's called Sega Chief and not Sega Underling or Sega Hobo or you know, whatever else you might be able to replace the Chief part with. I mean, maybe he wants to be mysterious and not being seen as too to the point. Every now and then a certain sense of unpredictability can be nice, I believe. You know, when you get an item called right arm from an enemy, I always feel that that's a little bit macabre. Maybe left arms are just attached to the body more firmly, which is why you can only so easily chair right arms. Okay, so maybe this time I can start out and actually get some things done, in theory at least. So I want to not only get Alexander materia, I want to also get to the left portion of the snowfield Great Glacier, because there are some more items there that I want to pick up. That in this randomizer could be just about anything. There is still in the original game the safety bit, and I think a mind source actually, in like the forested area. No, I just need to make sure that I find out how to get to this parts. Probably, actually... This game gives you a skyward sword. Wow, that's really so deep. You should become like somebody who writes for rappers. This is like Death Grip's level, deep and convoluted. Apparently it's fortunate if I go left. Have you actually played Skyward Sword, Panko? You never played that? I see. Yes, I actually own a Nintendo Switch, and I have played a sad Zelda game. What would that do if I posted my friend code? What if I have really pretty feet though? I mean, I have seen some feet in my time, you know, from like going to saunas and stuff. And I would be so, what's the right word? I don't know. Pesky. So brazen as to claim that I can say that one might be able to say that some people have pretty and some people have less pretty feet, just like there are pretty and less pretty hands or noses, butts, or just bodies in general. No offense. So anyway, what good does it do if you know my friend code? Like, what will it do for anyone really? Wouldn't I actually have to like use my Switch again at some point, which right now I can't really foresee doing in the not so distant future. Yeah, but anyway, coming back to the important subject of feet. Are you saying that you're only disgusted by ugly feet or just feet in general? Maybe you, as I said, have just not beholden the marvelous divinity that is pretty feet. Oh really? What kind of multiplayer games are there for the Switch at this moment? And I did not use my streaming utensils in quite some time, my dear friend. And therefore they were covered in a dusty substance from just lying on top of some otherwise fairly unused closet top. You know, I think there's actually like an entire science of feet. Apparently there's like different feet types. There's like the Egyptian feet, and I think the Roman feet, and like somebody cares about this. And you can have like you can classify feet based on several visual characteristics. I mean, there's even actual feet doctors called podologists. Maybe you should look it up, OCT, and find out which feet you're most disgusted by. You know, actually, somebody who's into feet is called a podophile, not to be confused with a pedophile. Even though the name is a bit awkward, I guess, for that very similarity. Do you need Egyptian feet to walk like an Egyptian? I honestly don't know. Maybe. Why is it called a pedicure and not a podocure? I mean, I didn't make the name. I don't know. I guess podocure might make more sense. But then again, I think that word for foot comes from the Latin word, and I'm really just making this up right now as I speak, pes, which means foot. Masamune, wonderful. I know, I'm tabbing out to look up the map for Great Glacier. This I can just make up with my mind. I mean, why would I need to look up foot stuff if it's all already in my head? Obviously. Are you implying I'm not a licensed foot expert? I feel greatly offended by your sheer arrogance / ignorance. I am the Western world's leading foot luminary. I really like these random chocobo greens, they are so useful. This is a spooky looking enemy. Oh, this is, oh my god, if this is snow, I will have nightmares when I actually encounter the enemy that guards the Alexander materia. You mean if it has been randomized based on how it used to work previously? Your feet started to look like hands? What exactly do you mean by that? Like, are you saying that your feet were amputated and because the surgeon is not a very good one, he just amputated your feet and then sewed a pair of hands where your feet used to be? I mean, that does sound concerning. Or are you saying that maybe just your toes are getting longer and more nimble? Something along those lines? No, I cannot say that I've heard of a lady with backwards foot knee, but it sounds really quite fascinating. How many albums has your one-man band produced so far, I wonder? Can I throw money towards the general vicinity of your one-man band to support its further production of music? / noise pollution that you call music? No offense. Also, whatever happened to all these amazing Twitch hydration bots? Have they died down? Did they die because they were not properly hydrated? Or are they just so 2018 that they don't need to be seen anymore? You're calling it a meme, but what do you know? Also, where do I get the edit cut materia? Why did I forget how to get that? Really? That is kind of a thick jerk move. Something like that, I would say. Hey, wet mystic. Do you have so little delay, or did you just preemptively say hi to me? Oh my god, are you kidding me? I was like 2 feet away from... Oh well, whatever. Life is not hard. I mean, fair. This is a lesson that even video games can be so kind as to not let you forget. Someone on YouTube, who apparently also watches my Twitch streams, said that there wasn't enough YouTube content because they had to watch it over and over again. So maybe I should put all of this on YouTube so that these sad people who run out of watching YouTube stuff get to watch more stuff again. And now, should I actually do some kind of preparation here, or am I just winging it? You know, considering that I have moved on from those foods you see on my... Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Considering that I moved on from the foods that you might see on my YouTube videos, maybe I should make more newer videos that are more relevant to the foods I eat these days. I don't like caviar. Caviar is too salty. Oh, there was you. Are you the person who has a Sailor Moon thumbnail on YouTube? What do I eat? Well, Maybe am I allowed to share my dietary secrets with the world? Are you kidding me? Like, how come this is soft locking the game? Okay. This doesn't even make sense, because this is the normal limit break you should be having, but I don't even know why this happens. This is really just most bizarre. I mean, thankfully I saved just right before that, but still. That's like 2 minutes of my life I will never get back. So what do I eat? You know, as you have probably realized, some of what I eat is indeed tuna. Then another important color or pillar column of my food pyramid is this tasteful cheese. Very important. Well, because I'm a calorie conscious person, and because I'm not Julia Child, I only buy tuna in brine or water, and then carefully drain it for like 2.5 months before I put it anywhere near my mouth. I actually only very rarely consume what you call macaroons, because I like to call them macarons, and even those I eat very rarely. I also kind of often eat, I guess generally speaking, I am surprisingly non-vegan, because I have quite a lot of dairy in my diet. I do not like the taste of cow milk, that's true. But it seems that if you turn cow milk into other products, it becomes more non-distasteful, such as yogurt and curd. Milk is dairy for hobos. I'm not sure about that. This is not an official kindness approved saying. I mean, I have probably consumed human milk when I was forced to do so by my biological producers, aka parents, probably more specifically mother, but I haven't tried it since, and I do not particularly intend to either. I'm pretty sure, even though not entirely, that there does indeed not exist a human breast milk ice cream place in Germany. A cheese from human milk? I mean, because I think the market that supplies human milk is not very big, I would be doubtful as to whether such a thing exists. I mean, but I believe... Should I even mention this? How do I mention this without sounding too disgusting? Like, I mean, that's not a good opening to such a statement either. I need to wonder. A feminist who made bread from her own yeast. Interesting. Anyway, like, if you're looking for a human milk-like substance, you can probably find such a thing in some people's bodies. They produce such a thing naturally, provided, I believe, hygiene is lacking. And that is today's second mystery guessing class. I will not take questions. For further hints, thank you very much. Oh. That is something else though. I mean, that's a serious business, making you know, semen-based recipes are quite in vogue, I think. Now the issue with them, however, is that they don't really work so well because I mean, I'm not sure if this is general knowledge, but I read in a book once, on Wikipedia I think, that the average human's production of semen is not sufficient to make much with it. So one would have to store said produce for several days at least, and then combine it with several cycles of said production to have enough of said substance to use it in any meaningful way in recipes. Use it from several people at once. I mean, where would you do that? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe when you work at like a prawn production and you have to do the cleanup, then you might be able to like gratuitously ask them if you could like take it because you're like you want to serve your guests a nice sauce hollandaise or something. I'm sure they will find it just hilarious. You tell them that. Then again, I also read on Wikipedia that there are certain supplements you can take to increase the production of several bodily fluids. I'm not sure if this is accurate, because it was just in Wikipedia or somewhere where I read this. But I believe I remember to have read that zinc, or maybe zin, not sure, some kind of chemical element, when ingested, makes you produce either more or a more voluminous amount of some substances. Well, that is very true, soy sauce, but depends probably on what kind of bodily fluid you want to produce. Like, for example, blood also is a bodily fluid, and I think that just drinking water will not make you produce more blood. I wonder actually if there's a food that will quite noticeably increase the rate or speed at which you produce blood. For like, if you're having a blood donation speed run or something. Somehow I managed to take the wrong exit. Wow, like, this game is really difficult. Is that a serious answer? Did you just make that up? I mean, that's not quite true, I think. Like, if you cut yourself, I mean, you will bleed more blood, but your body will not reproduce it at a faster pace, I think. Yeah, I guess that's true. So, but then the razor blades are not specific in that quest, are they? Oh, thank you for that. That's valid information. I should not be using this again. I mean, the timer is still running, you just cannot currently see it, but don't be worried. It's still fully functional. And back up now. So, have you actually looked at, as I strongly and warmly, in a friendly manner, advised you to look at these pictures of various foot types? Because I think there's 4, and I only can remember there's 2. I can only remember 2 of them, I think the Egyptian Roman type. So if you looked at that, you would probably be able to tell me what other 2 types there are. Because I am myself too scared to look at them, but maybe you could do it. Oh no, please do not reserve your worries. I mean, what would this stream or my life be without people's worries? I am basically a giant computer screen sized therapist. But isn't vomiting good? I mean, vomiting helps you in a way, doesn't it? Like, I mean, if you're sick at least, it makes the stuff that might make you even more sick go out of your body. Oh hey, C-Tech Crazy Max. I am indeed having a spooky Wednesday. Are you too having a spooky Wednesday? I mean, one time I had food poisoning, which was the only time I had food poisoning. I wished for nothing more than to vomit. kidney stones sound like pain. Oh, I read on Twitter that you had headache. OCT. Where did you get that from, if you know so? And has it gotten any better? Have you found some way to lessen your headache severity? Watermelon. Why watermelon specifically? That's interesting. I mean, thankfully I've only been I only had food poisoning one time so far. And interestingly, as you were saying you could only eat watermelon, I too wanted to eat watermelon then, and I was able to eat watermelon, and it felt to me like that was not so bad in terms of eating food. That sounds bad. Can't you take something to lessen headaches? Isn't there like some kind of headache stuff? I mean, I am not someone who has a great history of headaches, so I'm afraid I can't really help you with headaches. But, you know, can't you take like aspirin or bang your head against the wall? Look at pictures of feet. Eat macarons. Doesn't any of this help for headaches? You ate an entire bag of cherries in one sitting? I mean, that sounds cute, because I mean, no offense, but how much could that possibly have been? That's like beginner's level binge eating. Not that there's anything you should really aspire to be doing, but I don't know. I mean, I have always kind of dreamt of maybe not like dreamt in a very serious sense, but I kind of romanticize food eating contests, and I know people have died from partaking in them, but I kind of feel like they would be fun for like the first 2.5 minutes. So I kind of feel like in some way they might be fun. I mean, I said the thing I was eating aloud. Yes, but I guess it's now so much later compared to when I wasn't telling you I was eating macarons. Like, by now you would have already given up, and you would have probably already forgotten that you didn't recognize what I was eating, so by now you probably wouldn't even care anymore. Or maybe you wouldn't even be awake during this part, so I can still be the evil emperor of not sharing with you my food intakes on YouTube, at least. So that's my justification. Have fun, fine lines, and see you. I mean, why would you go to a food eating contest that involves chili? I mean, I'm talking like real food. I'm talking like cake or maybe gâteau. Like, those are the only food eating contests. Maybe like pie, but chili or hot dogs, that's not even food. That is small doses of suicide. How is chili not food? Well, chili is food, but it's not the kind of food I want to have during a food eating contest. During an eating contest. You know, I really like I really do not like spicy foods, because the issue with spicy food is that it lingers on your in your mouth. Did I mention it yesterday when I was talking about this? But spicy food is like uninvited guests that overstay their welcome. I want the flavor of food to leave as soon as it leaves my mouth. Any longer and we're no longer friends. I don't think I want to eat 50 hot dogs actually. I think that the cause of death from partaking in eating contests, is not so much choking, or maybe it is choking, but I think it's also heart attack. Because your body cannot quite, I mean some people's bodies at least cannot digest it. And it causes stress on your entire system, and then you might just break down or something. Why would you eat more than 50 hot dogs in a year? I mean, I don't even remember when I last ate hot dog at all. I think the only time in my life that, and I know this might sound really spooky, so maybe you should sit down, if not even lie down. But the only time in my life that I believe I have eaten hot dog is when I was at IKEA, because they actually they serve hot dogs at IKEA where I live, and I'm sure they are like really bad quality hot dogs. And this might indeed be my entire life's hot dog experience. I didn't say I like IKEA food. I only said I ate it. That doesn't in any way imply that I like what I eat when I go to IKEA. Oh hey Nola, how are you? I wouldn't say I like IKEA food, let alone I love IKEA foods. And I have never had meatballs. Not IKEA meatballs. Or any kind of meatballs actually. I mean, here IKEA sells like all kinds of foods, like frozen foods, candy, ice cream, hot dogs. I mean, when I go to IKEA, which is not very often, but when I do so, I pretty much only do so because of the food that they sell, that I then buy and go eat there. Hey, thank you very much, Nola. Hey, Edition, how are you? I have never, I mean, maybe I have had spaghetti and meatballs when I was a child, but I don't remember it. So I cannot say for sure. Oh, I'm familiar with Costco, but I wasn't aware they have food courts there. You were supposed to be sent to Germany? What were you supposed to be sent to Germany for? Sounds interesting. But isn't Costco like a grocery store? I mean, I'm not quite sure what Costco is, but isn't it? Is Costco a furniture store? Because I don't think that's what it is. It's a bulk buying store. Interesting. Oh, I see. Interesting. I personally don't like buying in bulk. I mean, it's probably more economical to do so, but usually I don't want to plan ahead for like 12 years what I'm gonna buy and eat. So I prefer to buy in delicate little quantities. That usually lasts me like 12 hours at most. I mean, my tuna storage consists of no more than like 4 or 5 cans at any given time. And as I've said before, I find the thought of not eating at all kind of interesting / enjoyable. Maybe she was just being nice to you and giving you, you know, like parting gifts. When I was a child, and I went to birthday parties with other children, I used to get parting gifts. I haven't gotten any in a long time, but maybe that's only a children's birthday party thing. But at children's birthday parties you would get parting gifts, like some sort of little useless trash that you could take home. Maybe your mother was giving you something like that. Hey Rado Blanche, how are you? Oh, I see. Well, whatever you prefer. You cook a lot? For some reason I misread it as you look a lot. And I thought you were trying to say that you just like to go to grocery stores without buying anything. What about gifting a toilet plush? Well, I must first inquire from you what you mean by toilet plush. Is toilet plush the arcane yet highly esteemed gift that has been increased in its value by having it drop into the toilet and working best on Charizard plush toys. Is that a toilet plush? It is. Is window shopping really arrestable in some place? Are you serious? Because that sounds a bit obscene. Oh, I see. So I assume that the quarantine situation has indeed, to some extent, affected your life. Are you saying you're doing less window shopping now than you used to? So one of the things I want to still do is learn the enemy skill Magic Breath. I hope it does not just one hit KO me, which is why I equipped some elemental nullification or even absorption equipment. Oh, I see. Toilet paper and paper towels. I mean, I guess it's at this point it's just a self-reinforcing cycle. I mean, as soon as someone started to bulk buy them, other people just were wondering why, and they just probably went with it, even if they didn't really need it. And hey, Jambulance. What a cool enemy. Oh, this was actually Stilva. Wow. Alright. Stilva is a rad motorbike. That's cool. How do I have 3 clouds? Well, this is a ribbon. Wow. Wow, wow. You know, this normally is a ribbon as well, and even though it is of course statistically possible that if everything is randomized, some things are exactly what they would have been normally, I think that's still extremely unlikely, and I think this just wasn't randomized at all. Are you saying you don't have 3 clouds? Oh, I just learned the enemy skill Magic Breath, even though we couldn't see it. Whatever. There's never too many clouds. There is too much sunshine, but never too much clouds. Or even too many clouds. Oh look, it's more spooky people person. I for some reason find the enemy models that are humanoids the scariest by far. You are painting the Chocobo Ranch this week for an RPG Limit Break prize? I still don't even know what you're telling me. I need like way more context. Do you mean painting as in you're creating a painting that shows the Chocobo farm? Or are you saying there is a Chocobo Ranch somewhere in the world, and as someone's prize you will paint that for them in like black or white, you know, with like paint? I assume it's the former, but of course I cannot be sure these days. Hey Tetralix. It's with all these heavens clouds. Wait, does it actually, let's check something. Never mind. What about this? Okay, cool. So a general observation I made about this randomizer is that because how, in order to break this game, as in to become overpowered, you don't really need more than just one overpowered item or materia or whatever. Just one will be enough. And in order to not become overpowered, the game must give you none of those overpowered things. Therefore, it's statistically just unlikely that you will not at some point become overpowered early. So therefore it seems to me that it's quite likely that at some point Rangers will be overpowered. And obviously I have already passed that point a long time ago, because I now have stuff like Ultima and Contain and several high powered summons. Maybe I should still try to learn the Marlboro's Bad Breath attack enemy skill. Also, it seems there normally is no music for this part, which is quite spooky. I think you can normally hear the wind making some sounds. You mean because it's just too easy otherwise? I mean, there is a poverty option that does some things. Like it gives you less XP, AP and Gil. Doesn't flat out remove items though. Maybe you'd like that kind of way. Have I gotten anything good from Great Glacier? I don't think so, no. But then again, Great Glacier is not even close to being done yet. There are still quite a few unopened treasure chests that I can open. The lower area. Oh yeah, actually you're right. I have already finished Great Glacier, I'm sorry. The area I'm currently in is not Great Glacier, the area is Gale's Cliff. Did I get anything good from Great Glacier? I believe I did. I got the Phoenix materia, and I also got the non-randomized Alexander materia from beating Snow. I think those would be my most relevant good item things I got. For some reason you just seem to like nerfing things. Cash Cabals. Well, Alexander sucks as a summon, but it's the only material in the game to give you the holy elements. If only I had the elemental materia, which I do not, so maybe it still will be garbage for a long time, because I don't actually have the elemental materia. Oh, this also normally is the fire armlets. You know, I mean, somebody said that because of how randomness works. Of course, if some things are the same as they used to be in the non-randomized game, that is perfectly possible, but the number of things that have been the same makes me just assume that Sega Chief forgot to randomize these things. Oh wow, it's getting a bit crowded in here, I would say. So I'm getting a soft lock, right? With lots of interesting sound effects. Somebody please stop the washing machine. I think it's about to explode. Okay, so I must make sure not to use Sid's finishing touch, because it soft locks the game. Well, we can just skip to Dragon then, never mind. No, the only sad thing is that in the time I had this soft lock, after my last save, I had actually learned Bad Breath. Really, that's interesting. Why can they not be randomized? I mean, it seems to me that it's just that his randomizer has some kind of limitation, because I don't see why you shouldn't be able to just put them, like, change the item unit you get. So I'm waiting to learn Bad Breath here. At least that is the plan. Might not really work out. Don't I have Phoenix? Oh yeah, but I don't want to kill the enemy. Well, of course, this mod is only for people who don't mind the game crashing. And for some reason I once again have the only one character in battle transform limit break glitch. It's funny. It's not like that. I mean, I guess you're right, but more specifically, what happened there is that their weapon models were removed, because you could also see that Barrett's had a hole in his arm. It's just that the weapon models get removed from battle, and they're actually different from the 5 Marlboros, okay? Yeah, this is really cool, man. Can I just not be dead, maybe? Thank you very much. Okay, maybe I just need to be dead. Never mind. Perfectly fine with it, mate. I think I should have a better time now that I gave Sid with him because he takes less damage from the Marlboro attack. Well, being the the metametit, I of course once again realized that the damage Cloud is taking is actually his kills times 10. And because Cloud apparently has killed more enemies than Sid, that's why he's taking so much more damage. So Sid apparently has killed 131 enemies. After this, 136. And if they use the attack again, they should deal 1360 HP of damage to him. I wonder if this works. So Barrett is now being Aerith. I mean, I wouldn't say very soon, but I guess eventually isn't wrong. What the fuck is just going on? This looks like a bit chaotic. I have a feeling that once more the game might be softlocked. Like, severely. And I mean, this is kind of funny, but it's also not making any sense. This is like spooky, like real world spookiness. If I were more spiritual, I might believe my game were possessed by some kind of poltergeist. You know, the saddest part is I still have to now learn Bad Breath one more time. Maybe I should save after I learn it. I don't even know what... I know I only have to kill the icicle.